We are in Unit 5 of the ITAM Foundation Certification course. In Unit 5, we will deal with People and Information Asset Management. So far, we have covered the basics of ITAM, hardware asset management, software asset management, services and cloud asset management, and now we are in People and Information Asset Management. The final unit after this would be related to interfaces between the various asset management components or elements. At the end of this module, you will be able to describe how to perceive people and information as assets, the concept and purpose of PINAM. I will be mentioning PINAM instead of People and Information Asset Management. We will also describe the benefits of people and information asset management, the pitfalls related to information leaks or mishandling, the guiding principles of PINAM, the placement of PINAM in the ITAM ecosystem overall, and how does PINAM relate to HAM, SAM, and SEAM. A fact is that in 2019, about 7% of all adults in Denmark and 25% of Americans lost their mobile phone. What happens when the same number of your employees lose their phone? Therefore, security and risk controls of mobile devices both bring your own device and company owned, meaning company owned but lost or stolen devices, or information sharing and spreading across devices, employees leaving the organization, etc., needs to be managed properly. Policy setting is also important, such as how to create security policies for content, users, and devices, because almost 60% of organizations do not have a policy for bring your own device or mobile devices. Another question which comes up would be how do mobile users use their devices and content, such as syncing files across devices, file sharing, etc. We begin with part 1. This unit 5 has been split into 2 parts. Introduction. The areas of hardware, software, and cloud have no value without employees and knowledge. This module addresses management of people and information in an ITAM perspective. We can see here within ITAM, we have HAM, SAM, SEAM, and PINAM, and we are now in PINAM, the People and Information Asset Management. It concerns people and information asset management from an IT asset point of view, not from a human resources point of view. Some definitions first. As we see in this picture, the organization's content and people are the core currency of their business. We have people with certain responsibilities, user rights, jobs, or role titles. Which means that we need to understand the meaning of people and information as assets. We have corporate knowledge, skills, and information, which are indispensable to the workflow and the competitiveness of an organization. If a company loses its computer, imagine, then the hardware and software can be definitely replaced. But if a company loses its employees and their knowledge and the corporate information, then the consequence would be a kind of a shutdown. Information, therefore, views at knowledge or viewed as knowledge, data and people represent one of the greatest assets in a company and should be managed properly. Also, availability and sharing of information are crucial for the workflow, but as corporate knowledge is a great asset, it also represents a risk if it is shared beyond the company's interests. This requires management of information to ensure that the right information is shared with the right people and controlled and targeted appropriately. People are hired to perform specific jobs and roles with clearly defined responsibilities. To support this, IT ensures the needed user rights, enabling the employees to fulfill their roles in the company through access to a variety of applications. On this picture specifically, while hardware and software represent valuable assets in a company, these assets are worthless without the people and knowledge attached to the technology. Here we see that today's most productive employees are not tied to a desk, an office, or a single location. People want flexibility in their working life. This is also beneficial for the company because they can do better in their workflow, etc. But it represents high risks and adds complexity to the IT security and infrastructure in terms of mobile content management in particular. According to Forrester research, not only do 2 out of 3 employees access and edit vital content outside the office, but more than half of employees use 3 or more devices to get work done. To add to the complexity, workers use thousands of different apps to share, edit, and create content, with the consequence that company information is out of control. What this means for the business is that these mobile devices need to be integrated into core business processes. Whether the organization is gathering customer information at the point of sale, tracking patient compliance to the health plan, or monitoring the health of a gas pipeline, these mobile devices play a key role in the capture and transmission of business data.